Rust Almost Legacy, a 2026 June 20th video by a channel called Yikes, shows a Rust Legacy TH purple branded client without a time and date stamp in the corner. As far as I can tell from the video, it's not clear. And a server associated with it. And the description of the video said to download the client, or maybe the server, it's not really being specific, you needed to register on their Discord server. Now, if you're not aware of this, immediately this is a red flag. Discord should not be a mandatory requirement for you to sign up to get information. That's just annoying. It needs to stop happening. Discord needs to have a public-facing version of each page so that people can find out how little anybody wants to join your Discord. No one wants to join your Discord. I don't know what it's good for, or you're trying to get nitro or whatever it is, whatever the kids these days are into. Next. That Discord server only happened to be put up 12 days after the video was uploaded on July 1st. YouTube.com/ampersand YYKESS, and the video is ends in Y, I guess that's I8. Ambiguous characters in our alphabet are not helpful. Seriously, all of you out there that are about kerning and other how beautiful letters and numbers should be, we need to be able to tell the difference between I, L, and the number 1. Can you all come up with an anti-ambiguity font and just leave it that way permanently? Can we do that for international communications? People wonder why people have, cause mistakes or maybe do some disaster because of getting numbers wrong when we're launching a space probe. Seriously, stop doing this ambiguous crap. Just stop it. Anyway, next. Discord invite, whole string of characters ending in 5HAB. Will be in the description below. Now, what was this video supposed to be about? I was going to try to review their version that had a purple-themed upper right-hand corner banner that would, tell you which version of Rust Legacy it was, and it doesn't seem to have anything else to it. I'm sure it does. I'm sure there's all sorts of mods and hacks and everything. But again, the stank of not even being able to download a Trust Me Bro installer, meaning I would have to virus scan it off of a computer I built specifically just to test this one program, or not even anything else. Just there's nothing to test here. This is beyond vaporware. Contrasting this with the relatively easy thing of rustlegacy.eu and their Discord page that actually had patches to make the game work. Actual tech support. I mean, I had to go to the Discord to get it, and they're practically, actually, no, literally, they're the only one I'm still a member of their little Discord, because it doesn't seem to be a scam of some kind. The banner for it, Rust, Survive, Build, Conquer. This is the one that pops up on presumably during the game because they're using it as the thumbnail, and it's the same dimensions as the one that is used for the splash screen. But anyway, Survive, Build, Conquer. Take on the wild, gather resources, craft gear, fight, or team up. Trust no one, build your legacy. And it has a version of it that I'm going to... the screen you see here may go actually kind of dark. I'm going to be looking at this for a few seconds. We're going to do our toolbox. I'm going to magnify it, and I'm going to grab this version of this image, pull it down to the lower part of my screen, as you can see if you're looking at me following my eyes, which, why are you doing that? And I want to point out that if you're not aware of it, when you start the video game, like a lot of products when you start them, many software utilities and software builder utilities, or software developer kits, SDKs, or IDEs, integrated development environments, allow you to do a splash screen, which is quaint. Maybe not needed. I don't think it's needed. But anyway, in this case, let's talk about this banner. Information. Whether this is pre-rendered in some piece of software or CG or whatever, it shows a fog effect in the background in an environment that appears to be maybe Rust experimental-like. So kind of false advertising. I'm going to use that image for the background or the thumbnail for this video, unless YouTube and Google get mad at me. So why is the video longer than 5 minutes and 18 seconds? Rant on. Don't watch the rest of the video. All I'm saying about Rust Almost Legacy is promises, 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 nothing happened. I guess I have to go back to the 20th of last month and somehow get this information. If your project is unreliable enough that people can't find the same thing a month later, no one's going to trust it or believe in it, and no one should. A modest proposal to anybody watching. I don't care if you're screaming at me because, oh, you don't like that you lost the soccer game. Yes, I called it soccer. Does that piss you off? You know, or you're anti-FIFA. I'm going to get a T-shirt like that. Or whatever it is you might be screaming in the comments. Let's heart to heart. How many of you remember a video game called Doom? Okay. Doom was never intended to last, I don't even know how many decades it is now. It was supposed to be produced and immediately superseded and disappear and be a bit of consumerism. It was not supposed to be last this long. You weren't supposed to be able to get 100 different ports of Doom, and they weren't going to make money off of literally it's just fucking Doom decades later. That was never the intent. Now you might be thinking the following. The reason the people who wrote Doom probably didn't expect it to work this long is A, they didn't think it was going to work out and be awesome. B, they didn't want it to because capitalism requires that you destroy the past and continue forward, even if you're just regurgitating, vomiting up the same code. Yeah, it's a second answer. The people who wrote Doom are awesome and all that, but the reason they're awesome is people not like me. I only contributed a teeny little bit. I wrote maybe 2 or 3 pieces of code, and they're gone because obviously somebody did a better job. But the point is, we pirated the shit out of Doom. That's why it's not dead. Nobody would give a shit about this game, except that people like me, and maybe people like you could have been if you took your vitamins and actually got some sleep this week, tore apart the game because they enjoyed it and got angry about the fact that it was so limited and decided to unlimit it. 80% of the development for Doom, the game you're seeing now, was done by people who were not part of the original project and had no interest in being part of that project. They wanted to make the game better. I'm looking at Rust Legacy. It's a video game. It has a shit ton of potential. They were very wide-eyed. They left their options open. They were idealistic. No, they threw a game demo from the Unity game engine and into the computer screen, and then made a game on top of it based on a bunch of games that were popular at the time, with Gary Newman trying to, profiteer. Let's be pessimistic. This is going to be a dissertation on what's wrong with the gaming industry, only a little bit longer. All of it is based on grinding it up and spitting it out. If you really believe Bethesda or whatever company you're angry at is doing anything different than the people at ID Software did, you're wrong. There was a tacit understanding that lawyers and investors and the super rich were going to get involved because they wanted to. The goal of everybody running a company at the time when Doom came out was to get bought out by a very large corporation and then retire and never have to write another hunk of code again. I'm almost directly quoting basically everybody who wrote Doom. Okay? Minecraft is owned by Microsoft Corporation. I think the guy's name Notch is not in charge of anything. Well, but no. Not stressfully. The other option later on was get bought out and get to where you could almost be retired, a lot less stressful, and not have to worry for the rest of your life, and just have fun. And then you find out you're working for the devil, Microsoft Corporation. Google had a policy of don't be evil. Every one of these companies did these things. And underneath is the maniacal moo-ha-ha-ha people, wringing their hands as they did in the old days in movies and in cartoons. That we're going to make the world shittier because that's how you make money for some reason. Okay, now let's talk about Rust. The game was written in Unity Engine. I think it's 4.5. There's actually variations in there, 4.5, yada, 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 yada. And it went through, as far as I can tell, 3 actual full-on changes, but really only 2. The 2013 version that had zombies and the one that didn't, because they changed to a game engine upgrade that definitively had very big differences. It might not have even been considered a major revision, but the way it did things was different. The map had to rotate 90 degrees. A bunch of shit happened. The sun rose and set in the wrong location. And they didn't fix any of it. Most of the virtually all the assets are asset flips. You could call it that if you were being nasty. They weren't. They licensed, building and object assets and put them in the game, and then used them until they had just enough to do it. Gary Newman's philosophy was, you'd be thrown onto a bare hunk of ground. They kind of needed buildings as an excuse for you to go have a building to raid, and they only, in an area, let's say as big as this screen, they only used 1/4 of it this way and 1/4 of it this way. 1/16 of the surface area. It took them a year or so. Technically back to 2012 forward, they were puttering around with this. And yes, it is based on what was referred to as the Paradise Island demo, which was the terrain demo that told you you could make an island. If you're not aware of it, in gaming, an ideal play area is an island because it has a natural border that makes sense. It doesn't have to have invisible walls, and you just make it to where if somebody goes out far enough, they go into an endless treadmill of ocean that never ends and they never escape it and they die out there. Because that's literally how the ocean is. It's an extremely rational, straightforward thing. Unless you're completely ignorant of how the Earth has 3/4 surface area of water, ocean. It is very unfriendly and you will die. So, as long as you prevent people from making boats in the game, which is not that hard to do in the game, honestly, yeah, that's why you use an island. And that island demo came out. I was one of many people that looked at that island demo that had come out actually years before, and dreamed a little dream of what could be done there. It's a really cool one. It's if you can get a hold of, I think it's Unity 2 or 3. But the point is, the game was an experiment in making games. Gary trying to teach himself how to build a game, along with all the other people. That's how it always is. And it's sitting there with all of these, like 16 times the surface area available, and a bunch of stuff, a bunch of assets in it. And out there are about 20 or 30 people on the internet right now, some of them watching my channel, that know damn good and well how to turn on all those features, and have done it, and have videos posting it, and won't tell everybody how to do it for some reason. And I assume, if I was being an asshole, greed, jealousy. You have to work as hard as I did. You have to suffer. Give me the answer, I need it. Because I would actually do something with it, maybe? That's what everybody says? Okay, then we get this one. Rust Almost Legacy, where they sat there and didn't even bother making it look like they were trying to make a project that would last more than a couple of months. And sure as hell made it look a whole hell of a lot like a scam. Even though, obviously, I'm saying it isn't. They just don't have they don't have the client to download. I don't know what magic incantation they want you to do. Apparently it was only for a short time and then they decided to mothball it already. I came in late as usual. If you want to create something and have it be your legacy, stop going up to it and shooting it in the head and burying it in the fucking backyard. And that's to the entire industry and to the entire world. Anyway, Rust Almost Legacy, I'm giving it a 0 rating. Not a negative or positive, not bad or good. I can't test it because this project didn't even last long enough for them to give, it was 12 days or so before they just said, screw it, we're not going to have any data up. This is sad. I think we've all lost our soul and our will. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll all need it. Again, this is a symptom of what's wrong. It's not causing a problem. It's what happens when the problem is there.